Okay, I've got COVID, but that's not going to stop me. All right, here we go. Not the first time I've had COVID. Number two. This one's not as bad. A couple of days, pretty bad, but not this time. So, anyway, here we go. We're going to do a big picture overview of equations. All right, solving equations. They have equal signs. Yay. All right, so here's a big, huge equation, right? Okay, it's a multi-step equation. You put your line, but let me show you something first, okay? Uh, x is equal to 4 is the answer. I've already worked the problem. But what I want you to see is that the left side and the right side are equal. They don't look the same. Always bothered me when I was a kid. I'd be like, hey, they don't look like they're the same. But they are. Let me show you why. I'm going to take my 4, plug it in for this x, plug it in for this one, plug it in for this one, work it out. 4 minus 4 is 0, times 3 is 0, plus 2 times 4 is 8. So you got 8 on this side. This is 10 minus 2 is 8 also. So you got 8 is equal to 8. They are equal, aren't they? Right? Okay, they're disguised. Okay, this side's like skinny jeans, and this one's like yoga pants, right? Okay, so they're equal. They just don't look it. All right, so let's work the problem. So we start off with a left side and a right side. So whenever you have a bunch of terms, you can usually either distribute or you can like combine like terms, right? If it's on the same side. Okay, so that's what we do. We start looking at the left side, cover the right side up, and say, okay, what can I do? Let me see. Okay, distribute. Do you remember that? Where 3 times the first one and then 3 times the second one, right? So 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times a minus 4 is a minus 12, right? So I distributed. Typical mistake is that you don't do the second one. I don't know why. People just don't do that 3 times the negative 4. Okay, I bring down the 2x, right? Anything else I can do on this left side before I leave for the right side? Yeah, I can combine like terms. Look at that 2x. There's 3 x's. So how many x's is that? That's 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I got 5x. And then I took the minus 12 and moved it down here. Now, can these add or subtract? No. One of them's an x with a number in front of it, and the other one's just a number. Okay, so they're not like terms. Okay, so I finished this side for now, and I need to go to the right side, right? So cover the left, go to the right. Can I do anything here? Yeah, I can combine the two numbers, right? Okay, so 6 minus 2 is 4, so I'll bring down an x plus 4. All right, so now I have x on both sides. What do you do when you have x on both sides? Do you remember? Yeah, you get rid of the small one. Remember? The reason you get rid of the small one is so you don't end up with a negative x, right? So you get rid of a positive x. So how do I get rid of a 1x? Well, you subtract 1x, right? 1x minus a negative 1x is 0x. How many x's is that? 0. 0 makes the x disappear and go poof. It's gone. Okay? So basically they say cancel, but really it's 0x and there's no more x's. Okay, so 5x minus x is 4x. And then I bring down the minus 12, right? So it's 4x minus 12, and I bring that 4 down. Okay, what's this? A two-step equation. They're easy. You've got an x on one side, and you have to get it by itself, right? So x will be equal to some number. Okay, so there's two numbers I got to get rid of, right? I got to get rid of the minus 12, and then I got to get rid of the 4. Okay, you got to get rid of the lonely guy because these guys are best friends. They're buddies or whatever. So you got to get rid of these guys, the guy that's by itself. Okay, so you get rid of the minus 12, add 12 to both sides, right? Inverse operations, right? So a minus 12 and a plus 12, they say cancel, but really it's 0, right? That's why. Okay, so we 0 it, and then this is 4x, this is 16, so you bring that down. Now, if they're next to each other, they're understood to be multiplied. So the inverse operation here is to divide by it's a one-step equation. Anyway, to divide by a 4. Okay, why 4? so that 4 over 4 is 1. We don't want the x to disappear, not like this one did up here. We want it to stay. Okay, so we divide by 4. 4 over 4 is 1. Okay, so that's 1. And so we say we canceled it, but really it just became 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Easy? Okay. Next, two-step equations. Let's get some practice here. I like doing this. All right, there's 2 steps, right? Inverse operation to get rid of the lonely guy, right? We want x by itself, right? So to get rid of this, what do you do to get rid of a minus 4? What's the inverse operation? You add 4, right? How do you get rid of the 7, right? Because you want x by itself? Well, you divide by 7, right? Isn't that the 2 steps? All right, we'll work them later. All right, so look at this one, okay? Lonely guy, he goes first, and then the negative 3, right? So how do you get rid of the lonely guy? A plus 7, opposite is minus 7, right? So we subtract 7, right? Okay, how do you get rid of a negative 3? If it's next to it, you got to put exactly a negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1. Negative divided by negative is a positive, okay? So next, switched them around. Ooh, a little tricky. Okay, so lonely guy, he's positive. Let's make him negative. Subtract 4 from both sides. Then you got to get rid of the 3 so x can be by itself. How do I get rid of the 3? I divide by 3, right? Easy. Next. Okay. Oh, I put it on the other side. Isn't that the same problem? Come on, Mr. Penix. Okay, I put it over here. Some people are bothered by that. Some teachers tell them, okay, we'll change it back to look like this. Well, you don't have to. You're just looking at x. Find x. You got to get it by itself. You don't get rid of the 3 first. You got to get rid of the lonely guy, right? These are podnas. They're buddies. All right, so you got to get rid of the 4, so you subtract 4. It's positive, so you subtract. All right, so next you got to get rid of the 3 so x can be by itself, and you divide by 3, right? Next, ooh, Mr. Penix. All right, you forgot about these guys, I bet. All right, but you got to get rid of the lonely guy first. He's a minus 6, you got to add 6, right? And then how do you get rid of a 4 on bottom? Do you remember? You got to have a 4 on top. What's that called? Well, multiplying. You put a 4 on top, and then you put a 4 on top on this side, and basically it'll cancel. I'll show you one in a little bit, okay? So I multiply by 4. So add 6, multiply by 4. All right, next guy, same kind of, mistake, Mr. Penix, that doesn't need to be there. Okay, well, actually, whatever. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the lonely guy. He's a minus 18, so I'm going to add 18, right? This one, I said, multiply by 10. Should have been multiplied by negative 10, but I made a mistake. So anyway, whatever. Sorry, it happens. Next, here's some two-step equations. These are the same problems except for I'm going to work them. Okay, so lonely guy, how? Add 4, right? Okay, this becomes 0. I bring down to 7. I add these. I get 7x is equal to 28. What do I put under here? I divide by exactly 7. Why? 7 over 7 is 1. I need the x to stay, right? So that becomes 1x. It's understood to be there, right? So 28 divided by 7 is 4. Next, okay, lonely guy, get rid of the plus 7, right? Okay, how? I would subtract 7, right? That becomes 0. I bring stuff down. That comes down. This one minus this one is 9. Okay, do I divide by 3 or negative 3? Well, it's got to be exactly the same if you're dividing, right? So that it becomes 1, right? Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1, so this becomes x equals negative 3. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. If it's 2 negatives or 2 positives, obviously it's going to be a positive. But if it's one of them negative, then this is going to be a negative answer. Next, okay, switched them around. Okay, so lonely guy, positive 4, subtract 4, right? Okay, it becomes 0 or cancels. And then I bring this down, subtract, and then get rid of the buddy or whatever. He's got to go. When it's beside it, you divide it. Okay, so those cancel or really become 1 is really what's happening. And then 18 divided by 3 is 6. All right, so the other 3, it's over here. What's the big deal? Okay, so we're getting rid of the 4 and then the 3, right? Lonely guy, getting rid of him, right? So we subtract 4. He was positive, so we make him negative. Why? So it'll be 0. Okay, this is 18, this is 3x. We just solved this problem. Okay, how do I get rid of the 3 here? Well, I divide it by 3. Okay, so that cancels and or becomes 1. So 1x is equal to 6. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Okay, here we go. So you can see one of these. Okay, lonely guy, get rid of him. Okay, draw your line. Add 6 to both sides. Okay, this becomes 0, right? This becomes 9, and then I bring the other part down. Okay, so 4 is on bottom, so I need a 4 on top so they can cancel or become 1, right? So I'm going to multiply by a 4, right? But if I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other side, so here it goes. Now it kind of looks like it's a little up. Whenever I do it, I try to make it match up this guy, so it looks like an exponent up here, but it's not. Okay, it's just multiplying. I'm multiplying both equations by 4 on top. Okay, so this one is on top, this is on the bottom, so they can cancel, right? Or become 1. Really, this is now 1x, and then 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, here's another one. Okay, I changed it to plus. Okay, so how do I get rid of a minus 18? He's the lonely guy, right? Okay, draw your line. Get rid of the minus 18 by adding 18, right? So they cancel, right? These two add and become 14. This is x over 10. Bring it down. Okay, how do you get rid of a 10 on bottom? You got to put a 10 on top. Okay, so putting a 10 on top and on both sides is called multiplying. Okay, so 10 and 10 here, top and bottom, 10 over 10 is 1, 1x. Okay, 14 times 10 is 140. Yay! Next, okay, one-step equations, but we're going to just do the adding and subtracting. It's weird how I'm going backwards here, huh? Anyway, x minus 4 equals 6. Oh my goodness, that's so hard. Okay, let me add 4 to both sides. Okay, because we want x by itself. A minus 4, an inverse operation is to do a plus 4, right? So those become 0 or cancel. 6 and 4 is 10, so x is equal to 10. Next, okay? Oh, okay, draw the line. Get rid of the plus 7 with a minus 7, right? They become 0 or cancel, however you want to call it. X is equal to 9. Okay, next. And I put this one in front, trying to fool you. Okay, what do? He's the lonely guy. Want to get x by itself, so get rid of a minus 4 with a plus 4, right? They become 0, right? Bring that down. Negative 8 plus 4 is a negative 4. If you're not great at that, use your calculator. Here we go. All right. Ooh, x on the other side. So what? Okay, this is minus 4. I got to get rid of minus 4. I want x by itself. Don't try to subtract 6. Who does that? Okay, a lot of people. It happens. It's okay. Let's get it good. Let's do it right. Okay, so we want x by itself, so we get rid of the minus 4 by adding 4, right? So we add 4. That cancels or becomes 0, right? 6 plus 4 is 10. Yay. All right, next. X is on the right side. That's okay. Want him by himself, so I got to get rid of this guy that's bugging him. Okay, lonely guy, you got to go. All right, so a minus 6 becomes a plus 6. They cancel or become 0, and then negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. Yay. Okay. All right. So one-step equations with an x and a divider. Okay. So you know what the x is? I screwed that up. It's multiplication and division. Sorry. Okay, so easy. What do? Okay, if it's beside it, you divide it by the exact same number. 7 over 7 is 1. Okay, or you can say you cancel it, but it's really just 1. Okay, so x is equal to 5. 1x is equal to 5. Next, okay, do I divide by 4? No, then I would have a negative x, and I'd still have to do another step. I don't want to do a two-step equation. That's crazy. Okay, so I want to divide by a negative 4. Why? Two negatives make a positive, right? Okay, so those become 1. That's 1x is equal to a negative 4. Positive, negative division is negative. Two negatives would have been a positive, but it wasn't. Next, okay. It's on the other side, so what? Okay, so I want to get rid of the negative 3, so I divide by negative 3, right? So it becomes 1. right? Negative 3 over negative 3 is 1. Okay? So that's x is equal to 6. Next, okay, how do you get rid of a negative 1? I could multiply by both sides by a negative 1, or I could divide both sides by a negative 1. Either way, I mean, whenever I see this problem, I just change the signs of both of them because I know to do that. Okay, so a negative and a negative, it's like it's got a 1 there. Okay, negative 1 divided by negative 1 is a positive 1x, and that's a negative. So all I did really was change that one to a positive and this one to a negative. All right, so how do I get rid of the 3 on bottom? You got to multiply both sides by 3 on top, right? So these two 3's become 1 or cancel, and you got x is equal to, not 6 to the third, it's 18. 6 times 3, right? X is 18. Next, okay, it's on the other side. So what? Okay, got to get rid of the negative 5, right? Okay, so I need a negative 5 on top so that the x can be by itself, so I multiply both sides by negative 5. Those cancel, right? And then negative 5 times 12 is negative 60. All right. X on both sides, right? Remember what to do on those? X on both sides? Yeah, you get rid of the small one. You get rid of the smallest x, okay? Which is the smallest x? Oh, that's so hard. Okay, it's the 5x, right? So don't get rid of the numbers first. That's what a lot of people do. Check to see if there's an x on both sides. If there is, get rid of the x first, the smallest one. Okay, so let's get rid of a positive 5x with a negative 5x. 5x minus 5x is 0x. No x's. It's gone because it became 0. Right? So that's 0x, then you bring down the 2x here, that's the minus 4, and then the 24 as well. Okay, so now it's just a two-step equation, right? Simple, right? That's why we did it. Get rid of one of the x's because I don't need two x's, I need one, right? So now 2 steps. Add 4, divide by 7, right? So I'm going to add 4, that becomes 0. Bring down and add, bring down. How do I get rid of a 7x, or the 7, so that x can be by itself? Divide it. When it's beside it, you divide it by exactly the same number. X is 4. Okay? Here's another one. Which one, there's 2 x's, right? X on both sides. Draw the line. Okay. Which one's smaller? Okay. Yeah, of course. It's the minus one. It's the negative one, right? It's smaller. It's on the left side of the number line. Okay? So I want to get rid of this one by adding 3x because I want this to become 0x. So it disappears, and that's what it did. Okay? This one's 2x. I'll bring down a minus 9 and bring down the 7. Okay? Did that. X is on this side. That's okay. Trying to get rid of the lonely guy and then the guy that's best friends. Okay? So getting rid of the minus 9, you add 9. Don't even think about this side. Okay, just do the same thing that you did to this side because you're concentrating on getting x by itself. So I add 9, right? That becomes 0. Okay, I bring 8x down. I bring 16 down. And then I get rid of the 8 so x can be by itself. It's next to it, so if it's multiplied, then it's understood that you do the inverse operation, which is to divide by 8. Okay, so that cancels, right? And then 16 over 8 is 2. Very good. Next. All right. Small ones on this side, right? There's an x on both sides, right? Draw the line. Get rid of the smallest x. So we subtract 2x from both sides. We do that so that this becomes 0x and disappears. This is 4x. This is 21, and this one would be 5, right? Okay, x is on this side. That's okay. Trying to get rid of the lonely guy and then the buddy, right? Okay, so getting rid of the lonely guy is subtracting 5. He's gone. Okay, this one becomes 16. This is 4x. Just bring him on down. And then get rid of the buddy. Divide by 4. If it's next to it or beside it, you got to divide it by the exact same number. Okay, 4 over 4 becomes 1. So this is x, 1x on this side. This is 4 over here. All right, so if you have x on both sides, and then after that, you'll have to do a two-step equation. Still doing the same thing. Okay, ooh, this is a kind of a nasty one. Okay, which one's smaller? Well, if you're going on a number line, -1, -2, -3, -4, oh, -5. -5 is way, it's further to the left, so it's got to be smaller, right? Okay, so I got to get rid of the -5x, even though it's kind of an optical illusion a little bit. So I'm going to add 5x, right? So that these become 0x. Okay, -4x plus 5x. Good news. I love it when it's just x. That means I don't have to do two steps. I'm just going to do one step. I got to get rid of this guy so that x can be by itself. How do you get rid of a plus 6? You subtract 6, right? Okay, so those become 0. This is 8, and then you bring the x down. X is equal to 8, right? Okay, one more of these. Ooh, decimals. Ooh, you have calculators. Oh, okay, so I want to get rid of the small one, so I subtract 2.25x from both sides, right? This one becomes 0. This one here becomes 3.25x. And then you bring down the 7 and the 20. Okay, two-step equation, right? Get rid of the lonely guy, right? 7, so you subtract 7, cancel, right? 20 minus 7 is 13. Then you bring that one down. And weirdly enough, if you divide by 3.25, which is exactly the same thing as that's on top, you'll get 4. Okay? Yeah, 13 divided by that gives you 4. All right, last page. Here we go. You'll see some problems that are multi-step that are like this. Do you know how everybody screws this thing up? Everybody, okay, forgets that there's a line here and you have to do something over on this side and this side, okay? Or if you have a bunch of stuff on one side, then you got to clean it up by doing like terms. But you know what everybody does? Oh my God, they do this ugly thing right here. Oh, you crossed the line. This guy ain't supposed to be over here. You're not supposed to get rid of the smallest guy on the same side. Oh no, this one would have to be over here. So you don't do this. You cross the line. Okay? Yeah. Get rid of it. Okay? So all you're going to do, if it's all on the same side, is do like terms. Okay? 3x's and 5x's make 8x's. Okay, I went ahead and brought the 27 down. All right, he's gone. Now I need to take care of the 6 minus the 3, right? 6 plus a -3 or 6 minus a 3 is a plus 3. Okay, two-step equation. Lonely guy, 3. Subtract, right? Subtract 3 so that you get 0 right there. Bring them down. This is 24 over here. This is 8x. Divide by 8. We know to do that. Same number. 8 over 8 is 1. 1x equals to 3. Last problem. We're doing great. Okay? Now we know not to try to subtract 12x, right? Can't do that, okay? You're just combining, okay? So those two, 17 and 12 is 29x. Brought that one down. Now we've got -6 minus 3. Everybody tries to tell me all these weird numbers. But if you've got -6 and you subtract 3, don't you go further to the left all the way to -9? So that's what we're going to do. Oh, man, I'm a little ahead. Sorry. Okay, -9, right? Okay, -6, -7, -8, -9. -3 goes left. Okay, so I've got -9 and 29. Got to get rid of, this is a two-step equation, got to get rid of the lonely guy. Add 9, right? Okay, cancel him out or make him 0. And then we're down to the last step. Okay, 29, you divide by 29, that becomes 1. 1x is equal to 10. Yay, thank you very much, very good. I appreciate it. Now I got to kill this thing. Where's it at? There it is. Killing it, killing it, killing it.